I'm about making money, laughing, joking when there's nothing funny. You wasn't thinking ain't nothing from me. I did some things and ain't nothing from it. Now I was locked up when they put them chains on me. Mama just pray for me. I know you stressing, just waiting on me. Mama just waiting on me. Don't get look up to me, nigga. Let me check something here. Oh, yeah. Always got the same things here. So I gotta do this last one. Going about making money, laughing, joking when there's nothing funny. You wasn't thinking ain't nothing from me. I did some things that ain't nothing from me. Now I was locked up when they put them chains on me. Mama just pray for me. I know you stressing, just waiting on me. Mama just waiting on me. Let me do that last part. Yeah, we good. We good. I gotta move quick, can't stand up. I got some bruises, won't heal up. I just hope I get better again. Say you gonna do this, you gonna do that. They never see you do a thing. Give me a second, guys. Ain't gonna bustin' them things. I feel like an animal no one can tame. Rather the fortune and fame, but you can get fortune without all the fame. Remember days loading up magazines, now they see us, we all up in magazine. I'm about making money, laughing, joking when there's nothing funny. You wasn't there, can't get nothing from me. I did some things and get nothing from it. Now I was locked up when they put them chains on me. Mama just pray for me. I know you stressing, just waiting on me. Mama just waiting on me. All right, we good. Everything is good. Let me get started. Let me take my earphones off. All right. I had to let that song go first. Legitimately, couldn't start this without letting that song go. Yeah. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Ravens flock, what is up? What is good? What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, here we are. This is it. This could very well be the last time I'm talking about the Ravens for the next, well, at least talk about the Ravens in a game for at least the next 7 to 8 months. It's tough to really talk about this game knowing that Lamar Jackson is not going to play. But at the end of the day, you just have to move forward with what you have. And that's kind of just what we're doing here in Baltimore. You just move forward. It's possible Lamar has to get surgery. Yeah, that's my speculation. That's what I've said. I'm not even joking. I was not expecting Lamar Jackson. I was not expecting Lamar Jackson to like drop that tweet. So that kind of caught me off guard because I was already prepared to make a video today. The minute I saw he wasn't practicing again, I was prepared to make a video today because I was going to discuss this. I was thinking that, okay, Lamar Jackson hasn't practiced once. Oh, you just jamming over there? Okay, that's cool. So, yeah, Lamar Jackson hasn't practiced once throughout the entirety of these last 6 weeks. And then we hear in week 6 of an injury that was, quote-unquote, timetabled to be 4 to 6 weeks. Then week 6, he's dealing with massive swelling on his knee. So I'm hearing this, and I'm thinking something's got to be up. It's possible that knee is just not in good condition right now. It could be a situation where it's more than just a normal grade 2. It could possibly be a grade 3. And if it is a possible grade 3, then due to that, if it is a possible grade 3, then that means he could potentially need surgery. I don't know if he's going to need surgery, but obviously him dealing with that means he's just not coming back. And if he's just not coming back, that's just the end of it there. You will not see Lamar Jackson on a football field for the rest of this season. Next time will be sometime next year, and that's just how it's going to be. It's unfortunate, but that is the case here. So yeah, we do have to move forward. It sucks that this is the case. Back-to-back years where you lose your franchise guy for the rest of the season. It sucks and it's unfortunate, but here we are. This is just what we have to deal with as fans. You just never know how things are going to go for you on a season-to-season basis, and you hope for the best, but sometimes things don't work out how you want it to. So, with that being said, we know Lamar Jackson will not play in this game. So what happens now? No, Lamar Jackson's not practice. Lamar Jackson's not going to practice. Lamar Jackson's done for the year, bro. He's done. He's done. He's not coming back. He's done. But yeah, now that we know Lamar Jackson is not going to play in this game, we have to move forward, and a game has to be played on Sunday night. So, who will the quarterback be? Will it be Tyler Huntley? Will it be Anthony Brown? Is it a possibility that Brett Hundley ends up being the quarterback? I do not know. If I am a betting man, they're going to go with Tyler Huntley in this playoff game against Cincinnati. Me personally, I wouldn't mind if Anthony Brown plays, just because it seems in terms of throwing the ball, Anthony Brown seems to be a little bit more consistent in some areas. Now, granted, that game against Cincinnati was not a good look for him. But to be fair, he was not really prepared to play at all that day. Sometimes we got to remember, some of these quarterbacks aren't prepared to just suit up and play. Yeah, they go through practice as the backup, but a lot of times they head into games expecting to be on the bench, unless it's a situation where they have to come in and play, or if the team's blowing out the opponent, they can come in and play in the fourth quarter. Most of these backups, or especially if you're a third-string quarterback, you're not expecting to play. So I wouldn't necessarily be mad if Anthony Brown was to get the start, but I wouldn't be mad if it's Huntley. If I had to bet on somebody, it's going to be Tyler Huntley that plays on Sunday night. So that's going to be your quarterback. But when it comes to this game, honestly, I'm not looking at the passing game. I'm not looking at the quarterback situation. I'm looking at one aspect and one aspect only, the defense. The defense is the biggest aspect of all of this. It comes down to the defense. You invested all your money in this defense. It's time to see that defense step up and play at their very best. It's time to see that investment pay off. You wanted to invest all your money on the defense? Well, here it is. You invested in the defense. It's time for the defense to show up and show out in that game. If there's any chance Baltimore is going to pull off the upset, the defense has to shut down the Cincinnati offense. It comes down to that. This needs to be an old school Ravens football game. They got to take this back to the early 2000s because that's the only way they're going to win this game. Which, if you're looking at it in that aspect, honestly, that fits in perfectly with what the Ravens love to do. They love playing that old school type of football. Run the ball, kill the clock, dominate in time of possession, play tough physical defense. That's what the Ravens are built on. That's what they've always been built on. The passing game has never really mattered to Baltimore because they've never really cared about that aspect. It's always been about the run game and the defense. So, in this wild card matchup, it's going to be about the running game and the defense. Your offensive weapons are going to be J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. And you're going to need both these guys to be on the field, and they're going to need to put up a fantastic performance if you have any chance of pulling this off. Pulling this off. Bit my tongue for a second. I hate talking fast. But, yeah, if you're going to be able to pull this off, you're going to need to have Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins play, and they're both going to need to show up and give you like 200 yards. You're going to need like 200 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns between the two of them. 200 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns between the two of them. That is what it's going to take. If you want to win this game, 200 yards, I said receiving, 200 yards rushing, my mistake. You're going to need 200 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. 200 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. The rest has to be field goals. But 200 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, 200 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns from your running back duo. Hell, you can even bring Kenyon Drake in as the third back and get him involved. Just know you're going to need over 200 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns from that running back group. However you get it is however you get it. But that's what you're going to need from the offense. The passing game, I have no hope. I have no faith. I have no belief in those guys. We've been trying to hope and pray and believe in these guys all season. They've done nothing. They've shown us nothing. I already had my video where I went off on the receiving core. I'm not going to discuss them again. I don't have faith in them. I don't have hope in them. I don't have belief in them. The only thing I can say is I hope they go out there and play with some pride, because you guys have been awful all season. If there's any time for you guys to step up and do something and show that you guys can actually be productive in this offense, Sunday night's going to be the night to do so. I don't think it's going to happen, so be it. I trust in the tight ends. I think you're going to see Mark Andrews be Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely might get involved. They might have Charlie Kolar out there. Who knows? Josh Oliver is going to try to contribute. But the receiving core, I have no faith. I have no belief. I have no hope in that group. So it is what it is at the end of the day when it comes to those guys. Whatever happens with the receiving core is whatever happens. But I don't have the type of belief that they're going to get the job done. But, yeah, offensively, that is the game plan for the most part here. Offensively, you need to have your running back core give you at least 200 yards rushing and at least 2 rushing touchdowns if you're going to have a chance to win. The rest can be field goals, but that's what you're going to need. That is exactly what you're going to need. Now, on to the defense. When you take a look at the defense itself, the defense literally holds the keys to this game. The defense is the one the Ravens chose to invest in, so the defense needs to be the one to win you this football game. They need to play the best game they've had all season, and they have to shut down the Cincinnati offense. I'm going to give you a number here. I honestly believe the magical number for this game is 15. The magical number is 15. You can stretch it to 17. You can stretch it to 17, but the magical number is 15. The magical number is 15. The magical number is 15. If you want to beat this team, knowing that your offense cannot score 20 points, you've yet to reach 20 points without Lamar. So, if this team's going to win this game, I would say that you're going to need your defense to hold Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati offense to 15 points. Anything above 15, you're probably not going to win that game. Maybe you can win if you give up 17 or 18, but if it gets past 20, you don't have a shot in hell at winning this game. This is not going to be a shootout. You don't have the talent on offense to compete with what Cincinnati has. So this defense needs to hold Joe Burrow and that Cincinnati offense to under 20 points. 15 is the magical number for me, because I believe if you hold them down to 15, if you hold Cincinnati down to 15, I'm going to tell you right now, you can write a Baltimore upset. The Ravens will win that game if they hold Cincinnati's offense to under 15 points. If they give over 20 points, Cincinnati is heading to Buffalo for the divisional round. That's the end of the discussion right there. Doesn't even need to be debated. So it comes down to that. It comes down to that. It comes down to that. Simple as that. It comes down to that. If the defense holds Joe Burrow to under 15, Baltimore can pull off the upset. But if Joe Burrow and that Bengals offense scores 20 plus, Baltimore's going home and Cincinnati's going to Buffalo. Simple as that. That's all you need to know. Now, in terms of making those stops, it's going to come down to the pass rush, but it's also going to come down to the secondary as well. And this is the fun part about it. And this is what makes it really, really painful that Lamar is not coming back. If you take a look at how the Ravens defense has matched up with what the Cincinnati Bengals offense has done in the 2 matchups, you will see that the Ravens defense actually, they've played Joe Burrow and that Cincinnati Bengals offense relatively well. The first matchup, they gave up 17 points, and there were several drives where the defense just got Joe Burrow and that offense off the field. So you saw the defense making key stops in that first matchup. I was there on Sunday Night Football in Baltimore. I was there live to watch that game. And I was watching the Ravens defense make stop after stop after stop for much of that game against Cincinnati's offense. And they were limiting their main guys. Now, the running game that night wasn't like terrible. The running game for Cincinnati wasn't fantastic, and it wasn't terrible. It was actually relatively good. I mean, Joe Mixon was able to be somewhat effective against our run defense, but it wasn't like he was popping off. So in terms of the receiving core, it wasn't a huge passing night for Joe Burrow, and he turned the ball over also. So I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking Baltimore matched up well that first time. Then you move on to the second matchup, which happened last week. Now, maybe Cincinnati wasn't giving it their all. Wasn't going out there and showcasing what they can do. Truly, I don't know. I don't care. I only focus on what was presented on the field. And if you look at what was presented on the field, Baltimore's defense did a really good job in stopping Cincinnati's offense. Now, of course, you look at the scoreboard and you'll see 27 points. But you got to understand, 21 of those 27 points came specifically from turnovers. The first 14 points came from 2 turnovers. You had the first pick that Anthony Brown threw, which was a bad one. And then the second pick was because Demarcus Robinson couldn't catch a football, juggled the ball, and it was picked off again. Both those interceptions put Cincinnati's offense on short fields already in Baltimore's territory, and they were able to capitalize and get some nice touchdowns out of those. The third touchdown that was scored by Cincinnati was legitimately a strip sack by David Ojabo. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. My mistake. Strip sack by who? It was a strip sack by Cincinnati. It was on, when I say David Ojabo as if he was a quarterback, a strip sack on Anthony Brown, because he was still in the game. A strip sack on Anthony Brown. My mistake. I don't know why I said David Ojabo. A strip sack on, because he got a strip sack on Joe Burrow. But a strip sack on Anthony Brown. That was the third turnover. A strip sack on Anthony Brown just before halftime. It was recovered in the end zone. Touchdown Cincinnati. So their 21 points directly came off of 3 Ravens turnovers. You take a look at the second half. Cincinnati's offense put up 3 points. If Baltimore's offense was more competent, they could have pulled off a comeback. Cincinnati's offense put up 3 points in the second half. 3 points in the second half. This defense in the 2 games, they have done well in being able to slow down Joe Burrow and that Cincy offense. They have covered those receivers well. Given the circumstances, they have covered those receivers well. So if you take a look at how the defense has matched up against Cincinnati in the 2 matchups, one can say Baltimore matches up very well defensively against what Cincinnati does. And a lot of Ravens flocks has seen that, which is why it's so painful that Lamar Jackson isn't out there, because we legitimately believe that they could pull this upset off no problem if Lamar Jackson was there, because the defense matches up very well. Our secondary has done a great job in slowing down the receivers, be it Jamar Chase, be it Tyler Boyd, be it T. Higgins. They've done a great job slowing down those receivers. They haven't been nearly as effective in slowing down Hayden Hurts. Hayden Hurts has actually been relatively effective against our guys. But in terms of stopping their main guys in the receiving core, Baltimore has done a hell of a good job. And in terms of getting to Joe Burrow, they've put a good chunk of pressure on Joe Burrow, and they've forced him to turn the ball over. In both matchups, Joe Burrow has turned the ball over. He threw a pick on Sunday Night Football, and then he got strip sacked again last week. So when you look at it in both those aspects, Baltimore, the secondary has matched up well against Cincinnati's receivers. The pass rush has been effective in getting to Joe Burrow. And they've been able to force Joe Burrow to turn the ball over in each of those games. Not to mention, they've held the offense when they've been in a situation where they're not capitalizing off turnovers. They've held Cincinnati to under 20 points. So I'm looking at what this defense has been able to do against Joe Burrow and Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's had a hard time with these guys. So you take a look at that, and you see how the defense matches up with them. And I can tell you right now, that is going to be the key to winning this game if you're Baltimore. And that puts them in a situation where you have a great shot to win this game. Now, if I'm going to give 5 keys to the game, because we have to do that. If I'm going to give 5 keys to the game, I will say this. In order for the Baltimore Ravens to pull off an upset on Sunday Night Football on the road in Cincinnati against the Bengals in the wildcard round, they need to do these 5 things. Number one, the defense must force turnovers. You've been able to force at least a turnover in each of the 2 matchups you face off against this Bengals team. You have to force turnovers. Baltimore hasn't been as effective forcing turnovers in the playoffs in the last several times they've been there. That hasn't been a great look for them. They've been great in forcing turnovers this year. So we're hopeful that they'll be able to replicate that in the playoffs. But the number one thing you need to do if you're Baltimore's defense is you have to force turnovers. The more possessions you take away from Joe Burrow and that Cincinnati offense, the less likely they are to score points. That's number one. Number 2, the defense, they're going to have to stop the big plays. Cincinnati's going to look to air it out. They have the guys. Joe Burrow is going to look to hit Ja'Marr Chase. He's going to look for Ja'Marr Chase no matter what. We need to stop the big plays under every possible circumstance. So we need to stop the big plays. That is number 2. Number 3, offensively, you cannot turn the ball over. You're an offense that can't score 20 points. You're an offense that's not effective in scoring. You need all the possessions you can possibly get. We cannot turn the ball over under any circumstance. You need to be safe with the football. Don't fumble it. Don't throw any ill-advised picks. Be safe and cautious with what you run in the offense. Hold on to the football and make sure you're able to put yourself in a good position to try to score on each and every position. Do not turn the ball over offense. That's number 3. Number 4. Run the hell out of the football. Now, this doesn't mean that Baltimore can't throw the football. Obviously, at some point, you're going to have to throw the football. But if you're effective enough at running the football, you can set up Tyler Huntley or Anthony Brown in second and short situations, especially if you run the ball on first down. If you're effective enough in running the ball, you can set them up in third and short or second and short, either one of those. And if you can set them up in a short yardage situation, they can utilize the passing game, and that's where you can get the check downs. Check it down to the back, get a quick check down to any of your guys, maybe a small pass over the middle to Mark Andrews. It doesn't have to be complicated. Quick, short throws. Put them on second and short, put them on third and short with your run game, and allow your passing game to get some easy completions to pick up some much-needed first downs. You're going to have to throw the ball. So if your running game can set you up to be in these short yardage situations, you're going to be effective no matter what happens. So again, run the hell out of the football. I said it earlier on. You're going to need 200 yards rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns from your running back group today, because I don't trust in them getting passing touchdowns in this game. If it happens, that would be a huge bonus. But I don't trust the passing game to get touchdowns in this game. I'm relying on the running game to do their job and get it done. Now, I trust in Mark Andrews being able to pick up great yardage, but I don't know if he's going to find the end zone because I don't trust this passing game. I think Mark Andrews can have a big game. I think Isaiah Likely can also have a good game. But I don't trust the guys to be able to score in the passing game because I don't trust in the passing game in general. I think you're going to get your touchdowns via the run game. So trust in J.K. Dobbins, trust in Gus Edwards, trust in Kenyon Drake if he's out there because he's also been effective and he's worked well within our system. So I'd like those 3 guys. Between those 3 guys, if you can get 200 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, you're going to be in a good place. So that's number 4. Run the hell out of the football. Last but not least, number 5. I have been using number 5 for the longest now. And it's been a message we have been clearly yelling at the Ravens throughout the entire season. Finish the damn game. Look, I have no clue what's going to happen on Sunday night. It could very well be a blowout. And if it's a blowout, we can all just call the season and move on with our days. But if it somehow turns into a close game, a short affair, then we need to be able to close out. If there's any opportunity where we are up in that game, we need to close out. Anything can happen in the playoffs. If we find ourselves up against Cincinnati with the game winding down, we have to close that game. So that's my 5th key to the game. So again, to recap here, 5 keys to the game. You got to force turnovers, stop the big plays because those receivers are going to look to get down the field. You need to be able to be safe and protect the football on offense, so don't turn it over. Run the hell out of the football, and last but not least, finish the game. And it's going to come down to the defense to do that. You invested all that money on your defense. Time to see it pay off in the playoffs. If Baltimore can do these 5 things, then maybe they can pull off the upset. And they can have a nice, interesting date with Kansas City, where they will probably get crushed because that's not going to work. It's one thing if you do that against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, against the team that you feel comfortable with. It's a divisional rival. It's another thing if you're going up against Kansas City, a team that you've beaten once in the Patrick Mahomes era, and that's with Lamar Jackson. But we're not looking ahead because we don't even know if there's a tomorrow for us. So, yeah, it comes down to this, man. This is it. It comes down to this. The defense is going to have to get the job done. And the offense needs to do everything in their power to not only get the run game going, but they got to do everything in their power to make sure they don't make it difficult for the defense. How do you not make it difficult for the defense? You don't turn the ball over. 4 turnovers on Sunday. Remember that. 4 turnovers last Sunday. How about we get 0 in this game and you have a chance to win? Protect the football, be safe, run the ball, and put some points on the board. Probably not going to break 20, but hey, I've seen miracles happen. We'll see what happens on Sunday. But yeah, those are my 5 keys to the game. If Baltimore can do these 5 things, they might be able to pull off an upset victory and head to Kansas City, where that probably ends any sort of magical run you're expecting. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, let me check out some of these comments. I've basically given you my basic spiel as to how I think the game should go. Probably going to make a video out of this, but I did want to connect with you guys here because I already had to talk about the Lamar Jackson situation. I felt if we're going to make a preview, if this is going to be the last time we talk about the Ravens, it's better to do it on the live stream than to do it on a regular video, especially since this could be the very last preview video I make of the season for the Ravens. Anyway, let me check on some of these comments. It's possible Lamar has to get surgery. Yeah, it's possible, but we'll have to see. I was predicting that he may need surgery, but we don't know if that's the case. We'll just have to see how things go and things progress for Lamar. Anyway, we're just hoping he gets a speedy recovery, and we'll see him next season. Hopefully. Then again, I don't know what the Ravens are going to do. I assume he's going to be here, but let's not get into that right now. Last game of the season, most likely. Realizing in 3 days our season might come to an end, but it is what it is. Rez, in 3 days, not even 3 days, in as little as 2 days, somebody's season's coming to an end. That's just how it is. Even with Lamar Jackson here and this team healthy, our season could very well end on Sunday if that was the case. Anything can happen. It's the playoffs. So, once you reach the playoffs, it's one and done. Your season could end just like that. So that's just how it goes. The same play Lamar got hurt, we blocked a tight end on the defensive end. Yeah, go blame Greg Roman for that, because there's no reason you have a tight end blocking. Because again, it was the way they tried to set up their scheme there. Because I don't know what play they were running, but the way they set it up, they were having their tight end block, and they always have their tight ends block. So that's nothing different. That's just the offense we run. Lamar don't rush it. Big difference between hurt and injured. Speedy recovery, my guy. Yeah, he's not going to rush it. He's not going to rush it. Ravens will probably franchise tag Lamar. He'll be a free agent in 2025. Ravens will probably franchise tag him, but in terms of him being a free agent in 2025, don't know if that's going to be the case. You would hope the Ravens could get a deal done, but we'll see what happens. Go, man. Appreciate you stopping by. JK gonna have to turn in to 2,000-yard Ohio State JK. Good luck with that. I would hope that'd be the case, but good luck with that. Bro, I'm going to be ready for the fans to say the quarterback won the game for us. People that say that don't really pay attention to the games, and I don't really care what people have to say. Hypothetically, it would be better for us. Hypothetically, it would be better than Lamar. I don't care what people have to say. If they want to say, "Oh, this quarterback won your playoff game," Lamar, I don't care. I legitimately don't care. It's good that Lamar doesn't come back until ready. I would hate for him to be another RG3. Yeah. A lot of people would hate that. Doesn't necessarily mean he'll be exactly like RG3, even if he was to suffer an injury. But let's not test that theory out. Do you feel like Derek Wolfe was right the whole time about the Ravens organization when it comes to injuries? Yeah. I've been one to say that I don't like the Ravens medical staff. They have handled injuries poorly over the last several years. And these last 2 years, they've done a really poor job in handling injuries. So, yeah, I don't trust the Ravens organization when it comes to their injuries. I don't like our medical staff. I feel like changes need to be made there. But Baltimore is not going to make changes because that's not the Ravens' way. Tyler got to air out the ball. Ground game alone won't get it done. I don't think Tyler has to air out the ball. You're correct that the ground game alone won't get it done, but there are plays you can set up. I don't want to see Tyler Huntley throwing the ball 20, 30, 40 yards down the field. You ain't got the receivers to get that done, and Huntley's not accurate enough down the field to be able to consistently hit those shots. Let's make things simple and easy for him. Quick throws, simple throws, easy throws. You let the run game set you up on second and short situations, and you capitalize on that with these quick and easy throws. Get the ball in the hands of your receivers. Get the ball in your hands of your tight end. Get the ball in the hands of your backs, and let them go do the work. We don't need Tyler Huntley trying to force the ball in a tight window 25 yards down the field. He's not going to do that, and I don't need to see him do that. That's going to force a turnover. So, no, I don't want him to air it out, but he is going to have to throw the football. Depending on how effective the run game is, I would love to have a situation where you see Tyler Huntley throw the ball 12 to 15 times maximum, because that means the running game is working. If Tyler Huntley's throwing the ball 30 times, we're in trouble. Simple as that. They would need a couple of breakaway runs this weekend. You could definitely get that with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. A couple of forced turnovers in the Bengals territory would really help. It is possible. Baltimore can force turnovers. They've been great at that this season. This is going to be a blowout, no doubt. Let's go Ravens. I respect the positivity, man, but I don't see us blowing them out. If anything, a blowout would happen in the opposite direction. No matter what they say, the Bengals are not going to do anything different from what's on film. It's about execution. Of course, we all know that. Same thing on both sides. It's about execution for us. It's about execution for them. They had all their starters in the game. They wanted to score 4 touchdowns to start taking guys out for rest. Well, they didn't get that to happen, so it is what it is. Appreciate that, RZV. J.K. going to have a field day running it up the middle, breaking ankles on the way. I don't know if he's going to do that, but I mean, I think he's going to have a good running day. J.K. and Gus getting over 100. Mark Andrews 100 receiving yards. We'll see. I don't know. You expecting a lot of big things. See, you're always big with you're the positive guy. You're the positive guy on my stream. You always come in with the positivities. A lot of people are here with negativities. I'm like the middle guy. I'll bring both positivity and negativity, and you're just like full on positivity. Even if the team loses, you'll be like, we'll come back strong next year. That's just who you are as a fan. Finish. If we lose another 10-point lead, fire Harbaugh. There's no way. There is no way that we are going to be in a situation where we're up by 10 points. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell we're going to be up by 10 points against Cincinnati. I don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening. Let me see. Andrews isn't getting 100 passing, or you mean receiving yards. They're game planning for Andrews. Yeah, they are. So they're going to look to get him out of the way. But Andrews has found ways to be able to handle double teams. Don't know if he's going to on Sunday, but anything can really happen. Let me add one. The offensive line needs to protect whoever's under center. Leave Ricard in to help pass protect and possibly use the screen play this weekend. I don't want to see Patrick Ricard running screens. But then again, you don't have to use him in the screen game. If you use him as a blocker and get the screen to J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards, or hell, even Kenyon Drake, I'm cool with. But I don't need to see a screen being thrown to Patrick Ricard at all. Last time we scored 20 points was against the Jaguars. Lamar played in that game. We had 27 points and we lost because the Jaguars went down the field, scored a touchdown, went for 2 and won that game. And again, that was the game that saved their season. That game against Baltimore saved their season. If they don't win that game, they're not in the playoffs right now. So that game literally saved their season. This is the last straw for John Harbaugh and the coaching staff. Could be the case, but I don't know. Who you got, Jaguars or Chargers? I'm taking the Jaguars. I will have my prediction videos out starting tomorrow for those other games because tonight was all about doing Baltimore and Cincinnati. I wanted to talk about the Lamar Jackson situation, and I wanted to talk about Ravens versus Bengals. Tomorrow, I will start putting out my predictions. I've already come to a decision as to which teams I'm going to pick. Don't exactly know what I'm going to talk about in each one of those videos. I don't think I'm going to make them incredibly long. I don't think it's going to go it's not going to be 10 plus minutes. It should be under 10 minutes because I don't think I have a lot to say about each and every one of those teams. And I have a pretty good consensus as to which side I'm going to pick in the game. But yeah, I'm not going to tell you about who I'm going to pick. Just stay tuned because that video will be coming out tomorrow most likely. JK and Gus, that's enough. I mean, you have Kenyon Drake. You might as well use him as well. Have that third back and see what you can get. Also, Lamar keeps posting signs that the front office has been doing him bad, and he's not letting them continue to let the situation fester more into the media than it has. That's why he tweeted. I don't know if that's the specific. That's definitely one people are going to think of, but I'm not exactly going to sit back and make speculations in terms of Lamar doing this because the Ravens are making him look bad and the media's coming out. I'm not going to make those speculations. The man said what he said. He wanted to put that out to give clarity. Anything past that is speculations. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. We're gonna see some. Oh, bro, go man. You need to stop. You need to stop with that last statement. That's where you're going too far. I'm with you with the positivity, but you don't mention those three names at all. You know damn well you ain't got nobody on that opposite side that can match what those three do. So let's not even try to do that. Let's not. But I appreciate the enthusiasm though. How many points do we lose by Sunday? I don't know. I mean, again, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to bet for us to lose. I'm putting all my optimism towards us winning because I assume we're most likely going to lose. And if we lose, I can just call it a season. But this could be the very last week for us. So I'm going to put all my optimism into the team pulling off an upset. I don't care if we get blown out by Kansas City next week. We got to beat this team. With the way they've been talking, we got to beat this team. Would you say that minus Lamar that we are fully healthy? Not necessarily. I mean, besides the guys we lost to season-ending injuries, I guess technically, yeah. I mean, Gus Edwards is back. I mean, you're assuming you're going to get Marcus Peters back for this game. Calais Campbell looks like he's going to play. So I guess technically, based on the guys that didn't suffer season-ending injuries, yeah, you'll be fully healthy minus Lamar, but it is what it is. We missed Lamar, but it's not worth making his injury worse. Yeah, I would definitely say that. That's funny, Donovan. That's funny. That's just how I am, bro. That's funny. Let's shock the world. We'll see. All I know is if Cincinnati loses that game, Ravens flock is not going to let them live that down. Yes, blocking for Ricard screens for Likely and Robinson. That one I'm fine. I'm fine with if you're going to use those guys on the screen plays. If we beat the Bengals, who we play next? Kansas City. So Patrick Mahomes will end our season. Man, it'll be the first time we face up against Kansas City in the playoffs and there'll be no Lamar Jackson. That's going to really hurt. I feel like this might be the end of Greg Roman in Baltimore, considering that this is his last year on this contract. If there's any time to get rid of Greg Roman, now would be the time. Because you could just sit back and say his contract expired. We didn't fire him. His contract expired. You know? Pittsburgh loves to do that. They don't fire coaches. Their contracts just expire. So that's just how things work out. I feel like this might be... Oh, you already said that. I already said that. But yeah, I mean, if his contract expires, it is what it is. It's not true. The Jags still would have made it even with an 8-9 record. Really? They would have made it in with an 8-9 record? Are you sure about that? An 8-9 record? Then again, I guess it depends. I mean...
Bro, you're not a true Bills fan. If you talk about we don't think we can beat the Bengals big...
Let me look at this. Let me hear it. Miami. Let me see. Miami took the 7th seed, and Miami was 9-8. So I guess you're saying they still could have won the division at 8-9. Let me look at the Tennessee Titans record this year. Cause like again, are you saying that Jacksonville could have still made it at 8-9? Like Jacksonville could have made it at 8-9 by winning the division? Because they wouldn't have made it as a wild card round. The 7th seed went to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins went 9-8. So you're saying they could have won the AFC South with an 8-9 record? You are correct, but then again, I guess that would assume that Tennessee would lose that final matchup, though. So I guess yeah, but still, that Baltimore game was a big part in kickstarting. It was a big part of kickstarting that the whole run for them, because if you saw where Jacksonville was at that time, they were dead in the water. Then they beat Baltimore, and they started to get confidence. So, again, Baltimore is a big part of what kickstarted that run. Well, that, and then you also had the Cowboys somehow choking that game away. Don't know how they lost that game. But, yeah, if you go back and look at what they were doing at the time, that game kickstarted everything for the Jaguars. I don't know if they end up going on this run if they don't get that confidence by beating Baltimore. Not to mention, who the hell knows what happens in that Cowboys game if they lose after... Like, if you take down Baltimore, you can't say the Cowboys game ends up the exact same way. So if there's two games you got to look at is, I guess, the Ravens game and the Cowboys game, because those two games really came down to the wire in terms of how that could have gone either way. And they found ways to win those games. But, yeah, I guess they could have won it at 8-9, but I don't know if they're sitting here with that record at the end of the season if they don't win that Baltimore game, because momentum was big. Winning that game gave them momentum, and they rode that momentum to where they are now, which is in the playoffs. So I don't know. Anything could happen. You know, if they lose that game, things could end up changing, because it would look like they're probably done. But I don't know. Lamar will stay in Baltimore. I hope Lamar stays in Baltimore, but I have no idea what's going to happen. We are doomed. Well, better bite some kneecaps. Hey, anything can happen, bro. It's the playoffs. Anything can happen. Is there any positives from losing this weekend? Not really. I mean, what positives would you look at? The only way this could be seen as a positive is if there were coaching changes due to this. So, like, if let's say the Ravens offense is putrid again, or Greg Roman's play calling looks like they cost you, and Greg Roman gets fired, I guess that would be seen as a positive for somebody. But losing this weekend, there's not really any positives that I can see. And even if they end up winning this game, I don't even know if Greg Roman's going to be here long term. Because, again, his contract's about to expire. So I don't know if you could look at this and say there's any positives from, like, losing this game. I don't know if you would want to say that in this situation. But it is what it is. I'm sick of people saying Lamar is injury prone. Just makes no sense. He suffered 2 injuries in 2 years. I don't know I guess once you suffer multiple injuries, you're considered injury prone. I don't know. That's just how people are. He suffered 2 injuries in 2 years. Again, 2018, he played all the games in his rookie year that he started. 2019, he was in for every game except one, week 17, where he decided to rest. And then you look at War Ravens. No, Lamar's not going to play. Lamar is out. Lamar is out. He's not coming back. He's done. He's not coming back. But 2019, he played all except one game. 2020, he didn't suffer any injury in the regular season that caused that. And then in the divisional round against the Bills, he suffered a concussion and got knocked out. But that was for that game, and we already lost that game. So, again, that's how it is. 2021, he suffered a major ankle injury, which kept him out for the rest of the season. And then you look at this year, he suffers a PCL sprain, which keeps him out for the rest of this year. And both those happened in the pocket. So I don't know if you can sit back and say he's injury prone because of 2 injuries. But people, once you get multiple injuries as a player, especially as a quarterback, especially as a mobile quarterback, they'll really sit back and say you're injury prone. That's just how it is. They're minus 2 offensive tackles. Do you think we get to Burrows a lot? I don't know if we're going to get to him a lot, but we're going to get to him. We are definitely going to get to him. We are definitely going to get to him. If they lost to Houston in Week 17 and beat Tennessee in Week 18, then yeah, they would win the division with an 8-9 record. Yeah, I mean, there's still possibilities. But the thing is, I don't know if Jacksonville goes on that record if they don't beat Baltimore. Because if you look at the situation, things were not looking good for Jacksonville at that time. Everyone marks that game against the Ravens as the coming out party for Trevor Lawrence. Because that was the best game he had of his career at that moment. And from that point, they rolled that momentum and kept winning games. I don't know if that happens if they don't win that game against Baltimore. Matt Canada is a Steelers sad. I mean, it is what it is with y'all. Y'all can deal with Matt Canada. Do you think we're going to win? I think you have a chance to win if the defense can hold Joe Burrow to under 20. I said the magical number is 15. If you can hold them to 15 points, you have a chance to win. But yeah, if Baltimore's defense holds them to under 20, they can win the game. But if not, they're going to lose in bad fashion. If they lost I already said that, if they lost to Houston, please don't remind me of the possible horror of Matt Canada still being employed. There's a lot of people that are employed that many fans want to be gone. I am just depending on the defense because I have no trust in this offense. Me too. I don't trust in the passing game at all. Not in the slightest. I think Lamar will be a Falcon if he gets traded. I don't see Lamar getting traded, and if he gets traded, I could see him going to the NFC, but I don't think he'd be a Falcon if he's getting traded to the NFC. Again, I would love to see him on a team like the Niners, but I don't know if they can get the proper pieces and players to pull that off if he was to be traded. But I don't think the Ravens are going to trade him. I think they're going to get this deal done. If the Dolphins, Steelers, and Patriots would have lost, the Jaguars would get the tiebreak at 8-9. That is true, but the Steelers did win. The Dolphins, again, I can only see the Jaguars getting in via division. They weren't going to get in as a 7 seed, and since the Titans finished 7-10, it's possible. My whole thing about it is if they don't beat Baltimore way back then, do they get the momentum that they needed to ride to where they are right now, which is a divisional win in the playoff game? Winning this game, you have to give the coaching staff a lot of credit, correct? I mean, it depends on what happens. If the offense is doing nothing and the defense is doing everything, do you give the offensive coaches any credit? You can give the defensive coordinator and the defensive guys credit, but if the offense doesn't do anything, what credit would I give to them? If the offense, let's put up this magical number. It's not going to happen. Let's say Baltimore wins the game 13-7. So, not even 13. Let's say that Baltimore wins 10-7. Somehow win an ugly 10-7 game. Your defense holds Joe Burrow to 7 points, and you get 10 points for the offense. 10 points in a playoff game for your offense is not a good look. How much credit can I give to the coaching staff, the offensive coaching staff in that situation? It all depends on what happens. I can give credit to some guys, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to get credit. Yeah, I don't see Lamar getting traded either. So Harbaugh lost 2 of his fellow Andy Reid proteges, Peterson and McDermott, and they're both doing well. And one's won a Super Bowl, the other has done a fantastic job turning Buffalo around, and they might win the Super Bowl this year. The Andy Reid tree has him and 3 of his guys in the playoffs. The Andy Reid tree has been fantastic. The Bill Belichick tree has been awful. That's because you can't replicate what Belichick does. But with Andy Reid, there's some things you can replicate that still works no matter what team you're on or no matter what offense you run. We have all our pass rushers, and they are good. Yeah, they'll get to him. I don't know if they're going to get to him a lot. And again, the offensive line for Cincinnati is not just going to sit back and allow our guys to get to him like that. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we got Tyler Huntley on Sunday or Anthony Brown, however it goes. Hey, guys, if Nick Foles did it, then we can. Nick Foles was an entirely different issue. At one point, Nick Foles was seen as the franchise quarterback. Even for a brief moment, he was seen as the potential franchise quarterback for the Eagles. What was it, in 2013, where he led them to the playoffs? And he had 25 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He looked like he was the guy. There was a time where Nick Foles was the starting quarterback for the entire season for the Eagles, and they thought he was their future franchise guy. And he took them to the playoffs, and they lost to New Orleans 24-23. So at some point, he was seen as the guy. And then over the last several years, he ended up not being the guy. He ended up being traded or just being released. He ends up going to the Rams. He looks bad. All of a sudden, he's looking around and saying, this is the end of my career. I might as well retire. Then the Eagles call him up because Carson Wentz gets hurt. And then he completely takes that run and goes the difference. Not to mention, their offense had weapons that can actually do things. And their play calling was actually good. So, yeah, you saw what Carson Wentz was doing that year. The offensive play calling was great, and they had great weapons as well. Alshon Jeffrey in 2017 was beasting on the Eagles. And they had guys there, man. They had LeGarrette Blount and everything. They were a dominant force on offense. And Nick Foles came in and just capitalized on that. So, no, I will not compare Nick Foles taking the Eagles to the Super Bowl to Tyler Huntley trying to do the same with this broken down, anemic offense with nothing, no positive sign of a passing game, an offensive coordinator that sucks at play calling, especially in the passing game. No, it's not even remotely. It's not even remotely the same. It's not even remotely the same. But hey, we can try to have some positivity here, I guess. I'm not relying on Tyler Huntley to win the game. I'm relying on the defense. Nick Foles didn't have Greg Roman as a play caller. You're damn right about that. Oh, we got a Bengals fan here. Best of luck to your team on Sunday, I guess. We'll see what happens. If your team loses, Ravens Flock is not going to let y'all hear the end of it. If you guys win, best of luck in Buffalo. The Ravens are not holding the Bengals under 15. Exactly. I don't think they're going to. But I don't think they're going to, which is why there's a good chance they're not going to win this game. But if they can do that, they will win this game. That's the kind of situation we're in. We have an offense that can't score 20 points. So if you can hold them to under 20, you can win the game. That's just what it is. If we can get great, if not, whatever, I'm ready for it. Oh, if we win, cool. If we don't, it is what it is. I get what you're saying. I noticed something in the last game. We literally shut their offense down. And in the second half, they had 3 points. What do you think was the reason? Again, if you look at what happened in the first half, the 3 turnovers led to their points. 2 interceptions in the first half put Cincinnati on a short field that they capitalized on. And then the last 7 points, the last touchdown, was a strip sack that was recovered in the end zone before halftime. That led to their 3 touchdowns that they scored in the game. Second half, they put up 3 points. When they actually punted, when you punted the football and put Cincinnati on the field where they have to go up the field and go the distance, they couldn't really move the ball effectively against Baltimore. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case on Sunday, but Baltimore may have something that they got to check out the film because there may be something there that can help out. How y'all treat my guy Deshaun Jackson? He's been cut, bro. He's not on the team anymore. He's not on the team. They cut him last week. He's not on the team. So how we treat him, bro, is not on the team anymore. The right side of the Bengals line is decimated, and we must take advantage. This is where coaching comes into scheme to get pressure. I mean, we'll see what McDonald can do, but I'm not trusting the coaching that much. But McDonald's done a relatively solid job. He's done a good job for his rookie year as a defensive coordinator, so we'll see what happens. Bro, I like your energy. You should be our quarterback. Nah, I ain't trying to be the quarterback. Why would I want to have Greg Roman giving me play calls? If I'm the quarterback, I'm doing whatever the hell I want. They will take me off the field. I'm not listening to Greg Roman. I don't give a damn. I'll put the helmet on. I'll be listening to that little mic that's in the helmet, and Greg Roman will be giving me plays. And I'm going to say, listen, guys, forget all that nonsense. We're going no huddle this entire drive, and let's see what we can do. Let's go play ball. I'm not listening to what Greg Roman's telling me. Then when I get to the sideline, John Harbaugh's going to be saying, why aren't you listening to what Roman's saying? And I'm going to say, Harbaugh, just let me play ball. And then I'm going to get benched. That's how that situation is going to work. Torrey Smith was on that Eagles team as well. Yeah, and he balled out in the NFC Championship game against the Vikings. The Bengals and Bills basically get first-round byes this week. Pretty much, it does seem like that. But it is more likely that Baltimore upsets Cincinnati than it is for the Dolphins to upset the Bills. But anything can happen. Though I do expect Cincinnati and Buffalo to win the game. Bad news. Your team can't beat against Bengals. What? Bad news. Your team can't beat against Bengals Super Bowl 0-3 chumps. You're missing some stuff there, Michael. You're missing some stuff there. We need to trade for D-Hop or Mike Evans. I'm not even going to talk about trading for a receiver right now. They have no clue if they're going to do that. Doubt they'll trade for a receiver. Don't have confidence in this franchise to trade for an offensive player. It is what it is. We can't win by going 3-and-out. We'll be going 3-and-out quite a few times in that game, by the way. But, yeah, we definitely can't win by going 3-and-out. They got to put points on the board. I also noticed the Bengals had some trouble in the red zone. We also gave them good field advantage with those turnovers. Yeah, Baltimore's actually done relatively well in the red zone over the last several weeks. They're a bend but don't break type offense. So they definitely have trouble in the red zone because our defense has been really good in the red zone, especially since the addition of Roquan Smith. So it's not going to be easy for them to score a touchdown once they get to the red zone. And we'll just have to see how things go. A Tua-less Dolphins and the Lamar-less Ravens. The Steelers would put up a better fight than these poverty teams. Let's see. If you guys would... No, you wouldn't. No, the hell you wouldn't. At least the Dolphins got weapons. They got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They're going to put up a fight. What the hell would Pittsburgh do against Buffalo? Y'all would get that crap kicked out of you. You ain't going to put no better fight with a rookie quarterback. That Bills defense would carve y'all to pieces. You just like Skylar Thompson, this rookie quarterback that's about to go deal with that Bills defense. Same thing you'll see with Kenny Pickett. Y'all ain't doing a damn thing. Your offense is worse than theirs. That's exactly what Big Ben was doing last year with Matt Canada. Yeah, pretty much. To be honest, a Madden playbook would be better than Greg Roman's playbook. I mean, based on what we've seen, I wouldn't doubt it, but it is what it is. Bro, I can see a reality where we could get DeAndre Hopkins. Well, I mean, that's definitely not the reality we live in. Seems like he's one of the only wide receivers that wants to be here, and he's a damn good one. Our current tight end coach is his former offensive coordinator. Don't see them trading for D-Hop, but, we can all dream. Plus, I think I heard that he may be willing to block some. He posted that. He tweeted that it doesn't matter if he has to block or do whatever to help out the offense. He tweeted that. I also noticed Sammy Watkins, they could not cover on those deep outs. They weren't really focusing in on Sammy. They weren't focusing in on the receivers at all. I saw them put a lot of attention on the tight ends, though, which is very interesting because the tight ends were still able to do something. They were putting a lot of emphasis on the tight ends and not really focusing on the receivers, but the tight ends were still able to be effective. And the receivers at times were able to get open, but Anthony Brown either just missed them or didn't see them, or they caught the ball like Sammy Watkins did and then proceeded to fumble the ball. So, yeah. I mean, they weren't putting a lot of emphasis because, again, no one fears this receiving corps. So, yeah, it is what it is. TJ will carry us to the Super Bowl. Yeah, in Madden. I'm sure TJ Watt is a great Madden player. I mean, I'm not talking about him actually being on the participating in Madden. I mean like him sitting down and actually playing Madden. But yeah, this game is going to be quite the interesting game. I don't know what's going to go down. They need to use the rookie tight end as a wide receiver in some plays. I mean, they could try to put Isaiah Likely in the slot and use him like this. Which, I mean, they probably will because they love to utilize Mark Andrews as a wide receiver sometimes. So they could definitely do it with Isaiah Likely. He definitely has the fit to do so. Either way, it'll be some interesting things that need to happen. You have great videos, bro. Keep doing your thing. Hopefully we can get you on the Flex Zone podcast one day. And Ravens will lose this Sunday. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I would love to be on the podcast, man. Hit me up. I would definitely love to be on the podcast. We could definitely talk. But I appreciate the love and support. You guys keep doing your thing as well. And yeah, maybe we can link up. Definitely get me on the podcast at some point. Our offensive coordinator is Matt Canada. We would get destroyed by the Dolphins and Bengals. You could be destroyed by the Bills. You ain't forget about the Dolphins and the Bengals. You'd be taking on the Bills if y'all win the playoffs. Justice Hill is a very good addition. I wouldn't really have Justice Hill out there in the running game. I kind of like what Kenyon Drake does more than Justice Hill, but it's not like a bad pick there. But I would prefer, if you're gonna have a third back, I would have Kenyon Drake as your third back, but you could have Justice Hill as your punt returner. Oh, you did mean him as a punt returner. Okay, yeah. If Justice Hill is your punt returner, Justice Hill is way better as your punt returner than putting out freaking James Prochet out there. James Prochet has done nothing for you via in the receiving game or in the return game. So yeah, Justice Hill as your returner, perfectly fine with that. That's a nice substitute for Devin Duvernay. He's not gonna match what Duvernay was doing, but that's a nice substitute. In terms of the running game, I don't need Justice Hill out there in the running game. Kenyon Drake is your third back because Kenyon Drake seems seriously. I don't know. I think it was sometime. It was at some time this season, but Kenyon Drake just figured it out, and since then he's been incredibly effective. He's not playing in this game. James Prochet will not play this game. Did they rule him out? I don't know if they ruled him. Are you saying he's going to be a healthy scratch, or if they already officially ruled him out? I didn't hear anything about that. But we'll have to see, though. I don't know. Anyway, Prochet should be our quarterback. Based on that one pass we saw him make, he'd fit it right in with what Anthony Brown and James and Tyler Huntley's doing. He would be benched again. So you think he's gonna be a healthy stretch? Okay, well it depends on the receivers they bring up, because you're gonna have you don't really have much receivers to pick. You're gonna have Sammy Watkins. You're gonna have Demarcus Robinson. You're going to have who else besides those two? You pick between Anthony Isabella, Tylan Wallace, Shamar Bridges, and James Prochet. Two of those other guys are going to be elevated. Who are the other two that's going to go alongside DeMarcus Robinson and Sammy Watkins? If we have Bateman and Duvernay here, you have a point. But we don't have those two, so there's open spots. Chances are they're going to put Prochet there before they even put someone like a Shamar Bridges. The Dolphins will not destroy the Steelers. I'm not talking about the Dolphins destroy the Steelers. I'm talking about not the Bengals. I'm talking about the Bills. Because I wouldn't even face off against the Dolphins in the first round. You'd be taking on the Bills. The Bills will take y'all down. Tylan Wallace and Kolar got touches. Do you think this continues? I don't know. Tylan Wallace, I don't know about Tylan Wallace getting touches. But the fact that Kolar was able to get on the field as a tight end in this offense, I think Kolar continues to get touches. They like what they saw from Kolar, so they're going to look to get him some touches. As for Tylan Wallace, I have no clue. I don't even know. We've literally finished a football game this season where our wide receivers had 2 catches. So I have no idea. About that. Do you think... Oh, hold on for a second. Flex Zone Podcast. We will definitely reach out there. I do have an email. Go to my channel. Let me see if I can... I don't know if I can actually post that. Like, if you go to my channel, Keeping It Real, you go to my About page. I have my email address there. I also have a link to my Twitter. So you can hit me up on my email or hit me up on Twitter. You can probably hit me up on Twitter. I'll definitely respond on Twitter. Email, it depends on when you hit me up on my email, but I do check my email every day. So if you check my About page on my channel, you'll see a spot for my email. You'll see a spot for my Twitter. You can hit me up on either one of those. But, yeah. Appreciate you guys, though. Do you think we can win more than one playoff game if we beat Cincy? Well, let me put it like this. If Baltimore was to somehow upset the Cincinnati Bengals, they would be heading to Kansas City. Unless the Dolphins pull off an upset and beat the Buffalo Bills. Whereas Baltimore would then head to either LA or Jacksonville. So, in terms of saying, do you think the Ravens can win more than one playoff game if we beat Cincy? My question to you, I'll answer your question with a question. Do you think Baltimore can beat Kansas City? There's your answer. Because if Baltimore beats Cincinnati, they're going up against Kansas City. unless somehow the Dolphins upset the Buffalo Bills, which that's just not going to happen. If it does, that would be the upset of the season. No question. That would be the upset of the season if Buffalo loses to Miami without Tua. That would be upset of the season. And I will actually criticize Josh Allen if he was to lose that game. No excuses. But yeah, I think our season ends in the divisional round for the third time in 5 years. Think anyone in the league is going to come up with a huge package for Lamar if worse comes to worse? Yeah, there are several teams. The Jets keep talking about trying to get him. I'm seeing all of Jets, Falcons are two teams I'm definitely hearing about. But there are several teams that will look to get Lamar Jackson. Yeah, but I just see it like that. We would play. No, we wouldn't play the Bills. We wouldn't play the Bills. Oh, you talking about the Steelers? Yeah, if you're talking about the Steelers, yeah, the Steelers would play the Bills. If you're talking about the Steelers would play the Bills if they were in the playoffs. They would be the 7th seed. They play the Bills. Bills are not beating the Steelers with T.J. Watt. I mean, you know that's not going to happen. You're at this point, you're free to make up all sorts of delusion. Your team's at home right now, so you can speculate. Your team's at home right now. We'll be joining you on the couch soon, but you can just rest up this week. Your team's at home. So making these speculations saying the Bills aren't beating the Steelers with T.J. Watt, knowing damn well that's not going to happen. T.J. Watt's not your quarterback. T.J. Watt is one person. He's not Superman. He's not your quarterback. One person is not going to change the entire outcome of the entire game. At least not to that level. He'll change the outcome, but not to that level. Anyway, enjoy the couch. I'll see you there next week. Enjoy the couch and save some space because we'll be there soon. If we aren't there soon, we'll send you Cincinnati and you can laugh at them. Simple as that. So either way, Cleveland's already sitting there with you. So Cleveland's sitting on the couch with Pittsburgh. Just save some seats. Save a seat because at the end of Sunday night, one other AFC North team will be beating you. If it's Baltimore, I'll be there soon. Don't worry. I'll be there soon. I'll bring some snacks. If not, we will send you Cincinnati, and you and Cleveland you can feel free to laugh at them because we certainly will be laughing. Just as simple as that. Either way, one other AFC North team is coming to join Cleveland and Pittsburgh on the couches. So yeah, y'all enjoy the couch right now. Either Baltimore will be there soon, or we're gonna send you Cincinnati, and you and Cleveland can feel free to laugh at them because we will definitely be laughing at them if they lose that game. Legendary, what is going on? Appreciate you stopping by. We beat them last year with Watt. Congratulations on speaking on beating them last year. Is last year the same as this year? Didn't you have Ben Roethlisberger last year as your quarterback? Yeah, you had a Hall of Fame quarterback that was at the end of his ropes that beat that team. This year you had a rookie quarterback. I'm sorry, Kenny Pickett's no Ben Roethlisberger. So, yeah. I don't even know how Big Ben was doing that. That was actually amazing. Like again, Big Ben was just turning back the clock at times and just finding ways to win. I don't know how Pittsburgh did it. They just sat back and said, Ben Roethlisberger, this is his last ride, bro. We just got to figure it out. I don't know how, but Pittsburgh, even at the end of his ropes, Ben Roethlisberger was finding ways to win games in the weirdest of situations. You're not getting out. There's just certain plays that Ben made in last year that Kenny Pickett's just not making for you this year. So, no, you wouldn't have beaten this team with, I don't care if T.J. Watt's there. You could have T.J. Watt. You could have I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to call out names of the old. Because I was about to say, you could have triple them all. You could have. I'm not going to go into that. But, yeah, no, you wouldn't have beaten this team. You wouldn't have beaten this team with Kenny Pickett. And because you beat them last year, congratulations for beating them last year. With Ben Roethlisberger as your quarterback, who's a future Hall of Famer. I don't know how he turned back the clock to win that game, but damn, he turned back the clock to win that game. Not to mention, Pittsburgh's defense was at least a bit more healthier in that game as opposed to now. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm not focused on semantics. Your team's at home. Enjoy the couch. Why are you bringing up speculations? Enjoy the couch. We'll see you there soon. Enjoy the couch. Like, I don't need to hear you with your speculations. Enjoy the couch. Today is Thursday. Enjoy the couch with Cleveland for 3 more days. Someone else is coming to meet you on Sunday night. They may take a little bit of time because if it's Baltimore, we're going to have to travel. Cincinnati's at home, so, I mean, you know what? Let me ask this. Where would the couch be? Where would the couch be? Because Cleveland got eliminated first, so I think we should stay in Ohio. If we stay in Ohio, this works out perfectly because that means Baltimore can stop by the couch if we lose. And if not, Baltimore can advance, and Cincinnati is already going to be at home, so they can sit at the couch. Troy would destroy the Bills' offense. By himself? No, he gonna pick him off. He's gonna get. Let me tell you something. Troy Polamalu is gonna pick off Josh Allen, but he's not going to destroy the off. What type of world do you live in where you think that's gonna happen? But no. Don't worry, got the seat warm for you. Get popcorn ready. I got popcorn upstairs. Trust me. I might pop some popcorn for Sunday night because I know we're gonna be on the couch soon, most likely. And again, Andrew, there's a possibility Cincinnati might be coming there. Get the popcorn ready for either Baltimore or Cincinnati. And let me tell you right now, if Cincinnati is the team that somehow loses this game, I need your fan base and Cleveland's fan base to roast the hell out of Cincinnati. Please. Please do that. Please do that. They'll feast, but you'll still take an L. TJ and Troy will definitely feast, but y'all still taking an L. And again, enjoy the couch. What are you talking about speculations for? Enjoy the couch. Enjoy the couch. It's definitely time to start criticizing Josh Allen. Been in the league 5 years, 0 MVPs, and he's already anointed as the next Aaron Rodgers. That doesn't really say much. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has one ring to his name, and he's been known to choke in the playoffs. So I don't know if that... I mean, I guess that starts criticizing him, but I don't know. Because, again, Aaron didn't win until, 2010, which was technically his 5th season in the league. Granted, he didn't play until year 4. He didn't play until, year 3, year 4. He didn't play until, 08, 09-ish was when he started playing. So, yeah, I don't know. Year 5, now, yeah, he doesn't have an MVP, but let's see what happens this postseason run. If Josh Allen goes one and done, if somehow Miami beats him, that's a problem. If the Bills don't get to the Super Bowl this year, then, yeah, we have to start criticizing Josh Allen and that Bills team. Because it's now getting to the point where you guys have looked to be the favorite, one of the key guys getting out of the AFC, and you haven't done it. So let's wait and see what happens this playoff run before we make any sort of assessments on Josh Allen. Lamar will be back for that one. I don't see that happening, bro. Have you heard what's going on with Lamar? Lamar is not coming back to play, bro. Lamar is not coming back to play. The man has said himself, he's dealing with a grade 2 PCL sprain, borderline grade 3. He's getting no stability in his legs, and he's dealing with inflammation on his knee. He's not gonna be back for Kansas City, even if we can get to Arrowhead, he's not gonna be back for that. He's just not. It's unfortunate, but he's most likely not coming back, man. So you're just gonna have to hope the best for the Ravens. Lamar's not coming back next week. He's just not physically capable of coming back next week or the week after. He's just not capable right now. People are talking about him potentially needing surgery right now because he himself said it's borderline grade 3. And if it's borderline grade 3 and he's dealing with swelling 6 weeks into an injury that has a timetable of 4 to 6 weeks because they said it was grade 2, 4 to 6 weeks is your timetable. He's dealing with swelling in week 6, and he himself said it's borderline grade 3. That means he might need surgery. So I don't see Lamar playing a week after making this announcement on Twitter. It's unfortunate, but that'll be the case. So you'll have to root. If Baltimore gets to Arrowhead, you'll have to root for the Ravens pulling off a victory there. And that's all I got to say about that. All the Bills do is bump their gums. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they have to prove themselves. The Ravens' defense is the reason why he's H's right now. Anxious. What are you trying to say there, Legendary? Not fully sure. Pittsburgh doesn't have a losing record because they found ways to win games. I don't know what to tell you. Lamar versus Mahomes. We're not getting that this year. Bills overrated if they don't make the Super Bowl this year. It's definitely time to start asking questions about Josh Allen. I have no problem. I literally made a video early on in the season. I said that the Bills and if Josh Allen and the Bills don't get to the Super Bowl, we're going to start asking questions about that team. Because now you're reaching a point where it's like you keep being in the conversation, but you're not breaking through. At some point, when do you break through? Save a seat by the window for Burrow and company. That's funny. Rodgers is not him, sadly. He used to be him. He really used to be him. He's no longer him, though. If Rodgers started in 2009, Packers won the Super Bowl in 2010, 2011. So technically 2-year starter winning a Super Bowl. Well, he was drafted in 2005. So he had 3 years to develop. He was drafted in 2005. He really started in 2008. He didn't start in 2009. He started in 2008. So he had about 2 to 3 years before he won the Super Bowl. But he's drafted in 2005, got to sit behind Brett Favre for a couple years, and then became the starting quarterback where it took time. So it's kind of different, and it's kind of similar and kind of different. They've both been in the league for 5 years, but one had to start for 3 years before he won a ring, and the other had to start right off the bat. But one got to, sit back and develop behind a Hall of Fame quarterback, and the other just got thrown into the fire. So it's different circumstances, but I don't know. I don't know if you want to fully put that there. And again, you would have to look at other guys too. I mean, I don't know. It's a bit tough. It's a bit tough. Realistically, this probably won't happen, but if the Bucs somehow get to the Super Bowl and God forbid they win, do you think everybody will lose their minds? I mean, not really. Would you be surprised if Brady somehow pulled off another Super Bowl run? It's Tom Brady. Lamar don't want to play in purple no more, though the injury is real in my opinion. Again, both for what you said is opinion-wise. The injury is okay. Well, the injury is real. The injury is absolutely real. That's not to be discussed. The man himself told you the injury is real. So we're gonna take the man by his word. The man said it. The reports have been out. The team has said it. The injury is real. He's not faking that. But the Lamar doesn't want to play in purple no more. That is you just stating your opinion. That's not facts. That's just speculations. We'll see if what happens. But again, I'm not going to make speculations as to whether or not he wants to play here anymore. Okay, so when we beat the Bengals, you saying we can't beat everyone that's left? I heard the Bengals are the best. They are the defending AFC champs. You heard that from Cincinnati. Who the hell in Kansas City said they're the best? And yeah, Cincinnati's been Cincinnati's been the Chiefs' kryptonite. But Kansas City absolutely believes they're a better team. And Buffalo absolutely believes they can beat Cincinnati. Just because they're the defending AFC champs does not mean that all... Bro, we were the defending AFC champs the following year. We didn't even make the playoffs. The Rams were the defending Super Bowl champions. They didn't make the playoffs. That really doesn't mean nothing. Congratulations for being the defending AFC champs. That only matters to who? Cincinnati. Ain't nobody saying that nonsense. And Kansas City and Buffalo are both better teams than Cincinnati. So, no. And again, we have never matched up well against Kansas City. And in the playoffs, it has to do with matchups. So let's just assume Cincinnati is the best team. In the playoffs, matchups matter. That's what you're doing. It's all about matchups. We don't match up well with Kansas City. We've beaten Kansas City once in the Patrick Mahomes era. And that was with Lamar Jackson. So, yeah. Don't see us beating Kansas City. We can do it, man. We winning against the Bengals. Possible, but we'll see. Would not be surprised if the Bucs make the Super Bowl. Brady chose this over his family. Boy, man, Brady don't get to the Super Bowl. I don't know how he gonna feel. I mean, we beat the AFC North champs and the defending AFC champs. What does that tell you? I mean, the divisional rivals, you can beat anyone, but you didn't beat Buffalo, the team you may have to see in the playoffs if you somehow get to the AFC title game. And we haven't played Kansas City, so who the hell knows? I got a scenario. If Lamar doesn't come back next season, I know it's not in our reputation, but I'd say the Ravens tank for Caleb. They're not going to tank. They're not going to tank. The Ravens aren't a tanking team. The Ravens aren't going to tank. They're not a tanking team. And if Lamar doesn't come back, I guess you're assuming that that he doesn't sign his franchise tag, because Lamar can't leave via free agent. They're going to franchise tag him. Now he could choose to not accept the franchise tag and just not come to practice and not to come to training camp or show up for the season, but he can't just leave and go anywhere else. So I don't know. And Lamar is not the type of person to just skip practices and not play in games. This man lives to try and win a Super Bowl. He's not going to do that. What's going on, Kevin? How you doing, bro? At least Lamar came out to speak today. I appreciate Lamar Jackson speaking with all that clarity because we weren't going to get the truth. The franchise tag is $45 million, right? I believe it is $45 million, and it's going to increase with each following year. So it is $45 million this year. I think next year it might increase to $50 million. So we'll see. But I appreciate Lamar Jackson giving us that clarity because, man, I got so sick and tired of speculation. Now that I heard it from Lamar Jackson, I don't have to stress. I know he's not coming back. I've accepted it. That's all I need. I didn't hear Lamar or the Ravens say his injury was season ending. I'm missing something. Go on Lamar's Twitter. Today Lamar tweeted out his situation regarding his injury. On Twitter, he said his injury is a grade 2 PCL sprain, borderline grade 3. He still has little to no stability in his knee, and he has inflammation on his knee as well. When you are dealing with a PCL sprain, a grade 2 PCL sprain, when it is somewhat severe, It takes well, if it's moderate, if it's mild to moderate, it could take 4 to 6 weeks. If it's severe, it's 6+ weeks. And if it's borderline, if it's grade 3, it's automatic surgery, which is season ending. He's saying it's borderline grade 3, which means there is a possibility that he's going to need surgery. The Ravens did not specify anything. The Ravens did not specify anything regarding his injury situation. Lamar himself came out on Twitter and said he has a grade 2 PCL sprain, borderline grade 3. He's still dealing with swelling in his knee, massive swelling, and he has little to no stability in his knee. So a situation like that most likely means it's season ending. He still has time. For what? If he make it to Super Bowl? Bro, he may need surgery. If it's a borderline season, if it's a borderline grade 3, that means he may need surgery. He may need surgery. I understand you're trying to hold out for hope, but if a man is dealing with a borderline grade 3 PCL sprain, chances are he's going to need surgery. And surgery means he's going to be out for 3 to 6 months. So if we hear Lamar Jackson needs surgery, that is your confirmation for season ending. And he's said he's dealing with a borderline grade 3 PCL sprain. Feel free to hold out hope. Feel free to hold out hope. But did you see him on the sidelines going, okay, bro. I'm done, bro. You got it. Yep, that smile. Yeah, because he was smiling on the sideline, Lamar's coming back. Did you see him on the sideline smiling? Goldman is the perfect representation of a fan that will have endless hope no matter what the circumstances. Until you physically show him that it's not going to happen, he will say whatever it takes. You got it, bro. He said, didn't you see him smiling on the sidelines? All right, bro, you got it. We're going to hold out hope. We're going to hold out hope. That man is dealing with a serious knee injury right now. Man said, did you see him smiling on the sideline? That's the indication I need. That is the indication I need that he's coming back. Go, man, you got it. You got it. I got no comeback for that. I got no comeback. Lamar Jackson was smiling on the side. I got no comeback. You may be right. He might be coming back. You got no comeback, bro. You got not you. I have no comeback for that. You absolutely got it, bro. You got it. I don't have anything to say past that. He said Lamar was smiling on the sideline. You got it, bro. You got it. You got it. He's coming back. You got it. Let me see. Steelers and Ravens don't know what tanking is. Yeah, we just don't tank in the AFC North. I mean, Cleveland did not go 0-17. Oh, not 0-17. They did not go 0-16 on purpose. They just sucked that year. That was that bad. If you watch the video, you can clearly see Lamar's knee was bent almost 90 degrees when he went down straight on it. Yeah, it was not. It was straight on the knee with all that pressure. So yeah, it's definitely bad. If Lamar is gone and we get a great haul for him, would we take another quarterback in the draft if we somehow get a top 3 to 5 pick? I doubt you're getting a top 3 to 5. You're not getting a top 3 to 5 pick for Lamar Jackson. Where would you get it from? What team? Unless you're getting one of the teams that are going to be within the top 5 of the draft this year, you're not getting a top 3 to 5 pick. And yes, if somehow the Ravens choose to trade Lamar Jackson, they will probably look for a new franchise quarterback. It's as simple as that. The Ravens organization lied, and Lamar tried to give his coaching an opportunity to be honest. He won't be back until next season. It honestly seemed like the Ravens just held out information. It's a whole thing. I had a conversation about this with my sister where we were talking about it. And it's possible the Ravens knew and just chose not to share it because they don't like sharing information like that. Or it's possible that they didn't know and they were making speculations. Or they did know and they chose to lie. It's a whole mess in Baltimore right now with this situation. It's a whole mess with them. As far as the media saying Cincy's the best team, I got them completely compete against the Bills. All right, you got it. The Steelers have been avoiding tanking for about 5 years. No, the AFC North doesn't really tank. Well, it looks like the Chiefs most likely will play either the Jaguars or the Chargers, and the Chiefs' hope is the Chargers. I know, I do. I mean, they can take on the Jaguars. They'll be fine. Either way, I think Kansas City is going back to the AFC Championship game. Now, what should be interesting, where things could very well be different, is if Buffalo takes on Cincinnati. I don't know if Buffalo... I believe Buffalo could beat Cincinnati, but damn, that's going to be a hell of a matchup with a lot of emotion on that game. It's a shame he had to say it himself, and if only Harbaugh had to talk in circles for weeks like he always does. It is what it is, man. The fact Lamar had to use stairs to get to the locker room probably made the injury even worse. Whether it made it better or worse, I don't know. Either way, he's not coming back. It's either incompetence or complicit. Okay, I know what you're saying. Either competence or complicity. Either or. Neither looks good on the organization. True. If the Bears draft Bryce Young and Lamar doesn't come back, would you take Justin Fields? First of all, Lamar Jackson can't go anywhere. The Ravens can franchise tag him. So if he's going anywhere, it would have to be via trade. And again, Justice Fields would have to be gotten via trade. So again, one, Lamar Jackson isn't going anywhere. The Ravens are going to use their franchise tag on him if they can't get a deal done. So that's straight up. Number two, if it was a situation where they traded Lamar and got picks back, would we take a Justin Fields? I think the possibility is there if Lamar Jackson's gone, but I don't know if Baltimore's going to want to go in that direction again. I don't know. Buffalo and Bengals will be a great matchup. Yeah, it will be a great matchup with a lot. Did they say he had a chance to come back for this game? Go, man. They said he had a chance to come back in this game. In 24 hours, they said he has little to no chance to come back in this game and that he's dealing with an uphill battle to deal with this. So I don't know what to take. You obviously are going to stick with the positive. You are going to stick with the positive until the end. Feel free to die on that shield. But, I mean, the report came out that he had a chance. He had a chance to play on Sunday, and then 24 hours later, clearly said he has an uphill battle and it's unlikely that he'll play. So if you want to hold on to the positive news, feel free to. Hold on to the end. You feel free to die on your shield, Gold Man. Feel free to die on your shield. Another take was seats would empty if fans knew LJ was done for the season when he initially got hurt, hence the Ravens dodging. I wouldn't think. I don't know if that would be a Ravens thing in terms of the coaching staff and GM. I guess that would be a Steve Bisciotti thing because that's an owner thing. So, I mean, it'll go either or. Playoffs without Rodgers feels so good. Thanks, Lions. Man, y'all really got to hate against Aaron Rodgers, which I guess is somewhat deserved. I'm staying positive, not counting my Ravens out. Ravens versus Bills. Let's go, Baltimore. Ravens versus Bills. In the AFC Championship game? Ravens 76. What do you mean Ravens versus Bills? Ravens versus Bills in the AFC title game? Because that's the only way you're taking on Buffalo. If Baltimore beats Cincinnati, we're heading to Kansas City next week. Lamar got another season-ending injury because the football gods just hate us. It is what it is, man. So, yeah, I mean, the only way we take on the Bills is if we somehow pull off an upset in Kansas City, then that means this Ravens defense is playing like the 2000 Ravens. So that's the only way we would take on the Bills again this season. You would have to take them on to the AFC Championship game. But hey, maybe you're onto something. Maybe you're onto something, Ravens 76. Maybe the Ravens defense is going to go out there and play like the 2000 Ravens, beat Cincinnati, beat Kansas City, and see what happens with that. Do you think the Ravens got the best defense in the AFC? In terms of who's left in the playoffs? No, Buffalo. I would sit back and say Buffalo's defense is just as good as ours, if not a little better. So I'm willing to say that they're both equally as good. Buffalo has a really great defense. They've dealt with some injuries too, but I would say Buffalo is equally as good defensively as we are. But past that, no one else really matches up with what Baltimore does defensively in the AFC right now. At least in terms of who's left in the playoffs. Miami's defense is not good. Kansas' defense is not good. Cincinnati's defense is good, not as good as Baltimore's or Baltimore or Buffalo's. Jacksonville's defense is really good, really solid, but it's still not as good as Buffalo's or Baltimore's. And yeah, I would sit back and say the Bills and the Ravens are tied for the best defenses. 49 is the most complete team in the league. You could definitely make that argument. You can absolutely make that argument. Imagine if the Lions win the playoffs. How far do you think they'll go? If the Lions win the playoffs, the first game they will play is an NFC North matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. Actually, no. It wouldn't. Never mind. They'd be the 7th seed. So they would be taking on the Niners. One and done. If the Lions win the playoffs, they would be the 7th seed. So they'd go one and done. They'd be the 7th seed. They would go one and done. Like I said, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, 2000. Yeah, Ed Reed wasn't. Yeah, you clarified that. Ed Reed was drafted in 03. He wasn't on that 2000 team. I'm past Lamar being out, but who do you think will be a better start, Snoop or Brown? In terms of what the Ravens want to do, Snoop is the better pick. In terms of who would be the better thrower in this situation, or at least be able to push the ball down the field, I would say Brown. But the Ravens know what they want to do, so Snoop is the better pick. Shannon Sharp got to repick his Super Bowl matchups, and he had Charger versus Rams. Then he changed the Ravens versus Niners. Now he's picking Bengals versus 49ers. He has no choice. He has no choice. You have to. The Ravens aren't going anywhere. But him to pick the Bengals is interesting. I'm surprised he didn't pick the Bills. I'm surprised. You know what? Cincinnati's a solid all-around team, and I don't know. Maybe it's because Buffalo's running game is a huge weakness. Buffalo's running game is a huge weakness, and it could be the one aspect that cost them. Not to mention Josh Allen's been turning the ball over every single game, or damn near every single game. He's been consistently turning the ball over, and he's throwing red zone picks. So I don't know. Buffalo is very dangerous to pick. But Josh Allen's going to be Josh Allen, though. And Cincinnati is a really sharp pick. So I don't think it's a terrible pick, but to pick Cincinnati over Buffalo is very interesting. Then again, Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl last year, so I understand. Tom Brady will be winning a Super Bowl with the 49ers next year. Don't see him going to the 49ers, but we'll see what happens. Our defense could steal a game or two, but in order for us to win, whoever starts for quarterback should not throw more than 15 times a game. Now you're thinking. That's exactly what I said. Maximum pass attempts. 12 to 15, maximum 15. I have them between 12 to 15 passes, run the hell out of the football, play great defense. Now you're talking. That's the formula that could potentially win you a football game in the playoffs with what we have with the Ravens. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. So I agree with you saying we should not throw more than 15 times. If we see Tyler Huntley throwing the ball 30 times a game, we're losing that football game. Simple as that. I will say the Chargers are dangerous. They are dangerous, but they're dangerous. They're a double-edged sword. Because sometimes they'll show up be a dangerous team that can hurt you, but other times they'll find ways to lose games that they have no reason to lose. And this game against Jacksonville feels like it's a game the Chargers have no excuse to lose. Rodgers is done. That game broke him. No, he's in his Brett Favre era. So he's dealing with his Brett Favre moment. This is his Brett Favre moment. So he'll definitely be back. He'll be back. Is Skylar Thompson really that bad? Spread increased a ton. When Tua's Skylar's a rookie, so I mean you're betting your rookie to go. You're hoping a rookie quarterback's going to go out there and beat Josh Allen. Don't know what you can say about that. It is what it is. Not a single 7-seed team has won yet. Hopefully one does, but I don't see it happening. We won both Super Bowls as a wild card on the road the entire way. Hey, keep hope and optimism up until we get eliminated. If Russell Wilson was still the quarterback for Seattle, the 49ers should be on up to the alert because for whatever reason they struggled like hell to stop him. I don't know if they make the playoffs this year with Russell Wilson. I mean, just based on the way he played this year, seemed like they believed he was done and made the move at the right time. If the 49ers had someone like Rodgers/Brady, they'd go 17-0. I don't see that happening. There are going to be weeks where you're just not playing your best game. It's not like the Niners defense is going to be 100% every single week. So, no, I don't believe in the 17-0 that people keep throwing out there. Are we being optimistic about this game? Yeah, I mean, you might as well be optimistic. It's the final week of the season. Show some optimism and then enjoy the offseason if we get blown out, whatever happens. Hey, Rodgers can't say choke in the NFC Championship if he never make it there. No, but he can say choke in January, which he's been consistently doing over the last 5 years. So, I mean, nothing's changed. He choked yet another home game in January. Same old, same old. I mean, that's just what the Green Bay's accustomed to now. Choking home games in January. That's just what they do. Do you believe in Brock Purdy? I'm not. Again, I like what Brock Purdy has done. He's in the cat seat, bro. He's in the driver's seat. He has been straight up balling. All he has to do is not turn the ball over. Just don't turn the ball over. Do not turn the ball over. Make the easy throws. Take what the defense gives you, and you're gonna be fine. I don't know if I'm fully on the Brock Purdy train because again, he's doing what we saw. He's doing what we saw Jimmy Garoppolo do in 2019. So I don't know if Brock Purdy's the type of person that's going to be able to win you a game in the playoffs, or if it's a situation where you need to be in the perfect situation. So I wouldn't sit back and say I believe in him just yet. I'm going to need more time, but he's in the perfect seat to try and make a run with this Niners team. Russ started cooking near the end of the season. Yeah, he did, but I mean, for most of the season, he wasn't cooking at all. John Harbaugh, 15 playoff wins, Zach Taylor, 3. I mean, how long has Zach Taylor been the? You have to check the resume. John Harbaugh's been here for 15 years. How long has Zach Taylor been the head coach for the? Matter of fact, let me check that up right now because you're comparing 15 playoff wins to 3, but you're also failing to compare the amount of years they're there. Harbaugh's been in Baltimore for 15 years. How long has Zach Taylor been the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals? Zach Taylor. Let me check this. When the hell did they sign him as the coach? Zach Taylor has been the head coach of some 2019. 3 years. 3 years. 3 years. He's been the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals for 3 years. So go, man. I mean, you're showcasing that, but guess what? John Harbaugh has 15 playoff wins in 15 years. Zach Taylor has 3 playoff wins in 3 years. Also, he was able to coach his team to the Super Bowl in year 3. It took year 5 for Harbaugh to do that. Now, granted, Harbaugh has the advantage. He has the experience. So that definitely does help. But, I mean, how much experience is that going to help with the offensive side? Because, I mean, you're looking at this offense, and I don't know how much experience is going to be able to make up for how bad this offense is. So, yeah, Harbaugh definitely has the edge with experience, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're automatically going to win this game. I mean, Harbaugh's had the advantage in experience in a lot of these games this season that we've lost. Again, last week, obviously, that was the case. Mike Tomlin's a different conversation. They're both at the same time, and Mike Tomlin, we know about that. The loss against Cleveland definitely has much more experience than that coach, but we lost that game. Against Jacksonville, Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl champion coach, but Harbaugh has more experience as a head coach. And there's just a bunch. I mean, for God's sakes, we lost to the Dolphins early on. Experience is important, but it's not going to be the only factor that comes in. Experience does help because you have that. But again, you have more experience, sure. But it's not like Cincinnati doesn't have experience winning at home in the playoffs or have experience in going on a playoff run. They just gained that experience. And experience is important, but it doesn't mean it's going to fully factor and dictate the game. So, yeah, experience is definitely important. I'm not going to take away from experience. You want to have experience in the playoffs, but it doesn't guarantee anything. Not to mention, if you're looking at if we're basing it off of his resume recently, 2 playoff wins in 10 years. He has an extra 10 years of experience as a coach, but he only has 2 playoff wins. But yeah, experience does matter, but it's not going to be the key factor in this game. So we'll see what happens, though. Any chances one of these playoff games could be similar to the Georgia versus TCU National Championship game? Niners and Seahawks. It's not going to be on that level, but Niners and Seahawks could very well be that case because I don't know how Seattle's going to score against. Then again, it's a divisional game, so it could be anything. Depending on how things go, I don't know what that offense is going to look like. But Bills-Dolphins could definitely be similar to it. So I look at Bills-Dolphins, I look at Niners-Seahawks. Those are the 2 matchups that could be like that TCU-Georgia game. Don't think it's going to be on that level, but it could still look like that. Either way. Do you see Worley playing more than Marcus Peters Sunday? I hope not. Worley brought that physicality last night. I hope that's not the case because, I mean, Marcus Peters also brings that physicality, and he's better overall. But I do want to see Worley on the field. I just don't want to see him on the field more than Marcus Peters if Marcus Peters is good to go on 100%. If Baltimore's defense is healthy, this will be a great game. Absolutely. Baltimore's defense is healthy. So if you have Calais Campbell, Marcus Peters out there, you should be good to go. That's terrible. He only has 2 wins in 10 years. Yeah, we have 2 playoff wins in 10 years. Since the Super Bowl, we've won 2 playoff games. One in 2014 where we beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the wild card round, only to choke 2 14-point leads in the division round to New England. Never got over that. And the second win was against the Tennessee Titans in 2020. Those are your 2 playoff wins in 10 years. What's up, bro? Love what you're doing. Keep going. Appreciate it, Antonio. Thank you for the love and support. Appreciate you guys. Is Mike Tomlin a top 10 head coach of all time? That is an interesting question and a debate that has to be made because again, he's already a Super Bowl he's already a Super Bowl winning coach, and he's never had a losing season as a head coach, no matter who the hell the quarterback is, or what the situation is with the offense, or what the situation is with the defense. No matter what the injuries have happened, he's never had a losing season. So you might actually have a conversation there with Mike Tomlin being a top 10 head coach of all time. But I don't know. I don't know if you could be considered top 10 with only one championship to your resume. I don't know if people are willing to accept that as a head coach. But I think, honestly, when you look at the coaching jobs, I think he has an argument there. Do you think next year the Steelers or Browns will be a playoff team? It's possible for the Steelers to be a playoff team if they continue to build on what they have. Browns just have to hope and pray that with a whole offseason, Deshaun Watson will have enough time to get accustomed to what they're doing, and he'll come back and look like the Deshaun Watson we saw during his final year in Houston. But can we talk about our offensive line versus theirs? Our offensive line versus their defensive line, or are you just trying to compare two offensive lines? Like, what do you mean specifically? Are you saying we should talk about our offensive line in comparison to their offensive line, or the matchup of our offensive line versus their front seven? Because those are two different conversations to have. Because we're talking about our offensive line versus theirs. We have the better offensive line. They are missing players on their offensive line, and we are going to have our guys out there. So again, Tyler Linderbaum has been great as a rookie. Ronnie Stanley looks to be right back in all-pro form. I love what I'm seeing from Kevin Zeitler. You got your guys on an offensive line. So are you comparing? Ours is better. Yeah, that's it. If we're talking about comparing our offensive line versus theirs, we have the better offensive line. So we're going to be our offensive line is going to be better, so we should be able to hold up better compared to Cincinnati's. Now, Cincinnati's offensive line is going to do the best they can, and Joe Burrow understands the offensive line and the injuries that are there. If you take a look at how Joe Burrow has been throwing the football, he's been getting the ball out of his hands quickly because he understands the offensive line isn't as great, so he's been getting that ball out quickly. Baltimore is going to have to shut down anything that's there just because they know he's going to try to check the ball down. So if he's going to check the ball down, you got to be right there to make the stop. But, yeah, our offensive line is better than theirs. That's as simple as that. Nothing really to specify there. In terms of the matchup, our offensive line versus their front seven, they've got an interesting front seven. Their front seven is the one that worries me. It's their secondary. Their secondary is what worries me because they've really done a good job in retooling that. And their secondary has been doing a solid job in being able to force turnovers. But in terms of their front seven, I like our offensive line versus their front seven. I think our offensive line has done a great job, and I believe they should be able to win this. Oh, yeah, Morgan Moses. Definitely got to talk about him. I think our offensive line can win that matchup. And if our offensive line can consistently win that matchup, that's going to open up holes for J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and Kenyon Drake to run the football. So I think the matchup there between our offensive line and their front seven, I think we can win that matchup. Consistently enough, I hope so. Joe Burrow wishes he has Big Ben's release. I'm sure he does. Let's say Humphrey is on Chase and Peters is on Higgins. Who comes out to cover Boyd? This is an interesting question. Probably be Worley. You're probably going to have Worley. Out there. Who's going to have to play slot for you? You're probably going to have Worley out there who's going to play slot. So that's the person who's going to cover Boyd in a slot. But we'll see. Great live Q&A. Yeah, I wanted to do this Ravens-Bengals one just here live because this is the last time. I'm getting ready to head on out because I wanted to do an hour and a half, and I'm 7 minutes over the hour and a half. But I wanted to do the final Ravens. Well, Brandon Stevens, I mean, he was in the hospital. They say he's better now, but I don't know if he's going to be good enough to go play after just being in the hospital. So I don't think Brandon Stevens is going to be good to go. So he's sick. He's not playing. He's just sick. I don't know if he's recovered or I think he's good enough to be out of the hospital because they said he was out of the hospital, but I think he's still dealing with some illness, so I don't think he's playing in this game at all. So it'd probably be Worley. But yeah, I wanted to do a live Q&A and actually talk about the Ravens versus Bengals just because I understand the importance of this game, the fact that this could be the final game of the season for us. I wanted to have this live stream here just to do that. And I'm getting ready to head out soon, but I just wanted to have that live stream to talk about this game. The reason Harbaugh has been pissed when they bring up Lamar is because they expected Lamar to gut it out and wear a knee brace. Lamar said, no, I'm not going out there until 100%. Yeah, I'm not. If I'm Lamar, I'm not doing that. Why the hell would you want to pull what RG3 pulled? We saw exactly what happened to them. And Cincinnati is not going to be merciful. they're going to attack his weaknesses. There's no reason to have him standing in the pocket just to get killed like that. Do you think we should blitz since their offensive line is banged up? No. I mean, you should blitz. I don't think you should consistently blitz, but send some blitzes. You could definitely send some blitzes. There should be some moments of blitz, but don't be blitz happy here. You can send some blitzes, but I trust the secondary to hold up so you can get a couple covered sacks because the secondary's been doing a solid job there. Their defense is flawed. They can't get out of that quarters crap. That is true. That is definitely true. I think Anthony Brown is better than Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley better fits what the Ravens try to do offensively. Anthony Brown seems to be better at pushing the ball down the field than Tyler Huntley. And seems to be a little bit better at actually connecting downfield. Now, granted, Sunday's game didn't show that, but we've seen moments with Anthony Brown, and it looks like that could be the case. The Killer Bees in this current defense would go crazy. Well, it's fun to imagine. I could say the 2000 Ravens and the 2000 Ravens defense and the 2019 Ravens offense would go crazy. Could Tyreek Hill score maybe one touchdown against Buffalo? Absolutely. No doubt. Don't forget about Pepe. We have no idea what's going on with Pepe. I haven't seen him play that much. It's not our final game. Chill. We'll see. I said this could be our final game. I don't know if it's going to be. Jamar is going to eat the Ravens' poverty cornerbacks up. Yeah, sure, because he's really in the two matchups he's had this year. He's really been eating up He's really been eating up Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey. Go check the numbers when Marlon Humphrey's guarding Jamar Chase. You'll find something very interesting there. Who do you think who do you want to start, Anthony or Huntley? I would prefer neither one of these quarterbacks, but if I had to choose one, I would prefer I don't want either one. It depends. If we're just looking to run this offense the way we've been running it over the last couple weeks and just depend on the run game, run the football, and do that, then yeah, I would prefer to start Tyler Huntley because Tyler Huntley is going to give you mobility, and he can also be utilized in the run game as well. But if we're focusing on trying to get something better, something more consistent going in the passing game, Anthony Brown would probably be the answer, but I don't know. Baltimore will blitz more than Cincinnati. Baltimore secondary can handle their own, no problem. True. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Running back comparisons, please. Oh, he's getting that in just before I'm heading out. Yeah, we're comparing. Their main back is going to be Joe Mixon for the most part. Cannot remember the name of the second back for Cincinnati, but they tend to give the bulk of the carries to Joe Mixon, and Mixon in the two matchups. Mixon in the first matchup had like 81 yards or 81 or 84 yards, and then this time around he had like 17. So I think if we're talking about the Ravens run defense versus Joe Mixon, I expect this. If Calais Campbell comes back, I expect the Ravens to stop the run, which means it comes down to stopping the pass too. But as opposed to us, we have J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. If we're talking about comparisons, we're not talking about Cincinnati. The only other team in the division we're going to talk about comparisons when it comes to the running back room is Cleveland, because we have a duo and Cleveland has a duo. We have J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. They have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. So we have a duo. They have a duo. Pittsburgh would be interested in this conversation, but they don't have a duo to match up with Najee. At least not yet. They may try to do that. Who knows? But yeah, we have the better running back duo. And we also have Kenyon Drake to be a nice third option there too. So if we can get the running game going, we can get something happening here. But yeah, for this game, it comes down to defense in the running game. If you can get the defense going, if you can get the defense to make stops and hold them to under 20 points, and you can get the offense to run the ball effectively and get some big chunk yards on the ground by J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, and you can get them to get into the end zone twice, Baltimore can pull off the upset. Anyway, I'm going to get ready and head out of here. This has been fun. It's been great. I've appreciated you guys stopping by. Duran, you pulled up at the right and wrong time at the same time because I'm getting ready to end the show. So I appreciate you showing up, bro. Solid show. Keep the faith. Go Ravens. Appreciate that, man. You showed up at the right and wrong time because I'm getting ready to end this show. But I do have to say my final speech here. Ravens, like I said, this could very well. You're good people, man. Keep up the great work. I appreciate that. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you stopping by on the stream. Appreciate the love and support. But Ravens, Bengals. This could very well be the last game of the season for the Ravens. I hope that's not the case, but obviously anything can happen. I really wish they upset Cincinnati. We'll see what happens. And you are right. Today is the 10th anniversary of the Mile High Miracle. Would have loved another type of miracle, but it is what it is. That's all I wanted to hear. Peace, bro. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Go Man. I'll see you on Sunday night because I know you're going to be here. See you on Sunday night with all the positivity because we're going to need you in that live stream, especially if we get beat. Well, especially if we're getting beat, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. We need that positivity, man, because I know that live stream will turn quickly. If Tyler Huntley or Anthony Brown starts turning the ball over, we are definitely going to need some positivity in the live stream. Anyway, this could very well be the last game of the season for Baltimore. We'll just have to see how things go. I will say this to the Ravens flock: keep the hope up. The defense matches up well with what Cincinnati does, and we have the best running back duo in the division. Let's go out there and fight. Beat Cincinnati based on pride. Even if we get destroyed in Kansas City, just beat Cincinnati based off of pride. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I already gave you my 5 keys to the game. Baltimore's defense needs to force turnovers. They need to make sure they stop the big plays over the top from these receivers. They got to make sure the offense doesn't turn the ball over. They run the ball, and they finish the game. That's all we need. Those are your 5 keys to the game. Anyway, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Man, I am over the limit. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you so much for watching. Be on the lookout for the next couple days because tomorrow I do plan to drop some prediction videos for the AFC Wildcard round. For both the AFC and the NFC Wildcard. Just the Wildcard round in general because we know we got a couple games. And be on the lookout. I'll probably sprinkle it out throughout the days tomorrow. And probably maybe like 3 or 4 videos tomorrow just to get the previews out. And then maybe the last video will be out tomorrow. So, Emilio, pulling up was good. You pulled up at the absolutely right and wrong time because I'm getting ready to head up out of here. But I appreciate you showing up. Take care, Superhero Cat. I'll see you on Sunday most likely. But yeah, run the ball, protect the football, try to put some points up, force turnovers, don't give up any big plays over the top, and it can happen. It can really happen. We'll just see what happens. Play on some pride, man. We'll see how things go. But yeah, I will be putting out my prediction videos tomorrow. And maybe the last one may come out early Saturday morning just before the wild card round. So just be on the lookout. Or maybe I might put it all tomorrow. I don't know. Either way, be on the lookout for my preview videos for the wild card round. This was the only one I wanted to do today because I wanted to take this time to focus in and talk about this game in general. Now that this is out the way, I don't have to make the preview video for the Ravens and Bengals. We can go on to talk about the others. Cannot wait to get my predictions on the other games. Those videos won't be long, so we'll see. Nah, you're good. You're good, Emilio. It's all good. Still appreciate you stopping by, though. But yeah, be on the lookout for my preview videos for the wild card round. You know what? Maybe I should probably do all. You streaming the Saturday games? I am going to try. I'm going to try to stream as many playoff games as possible. Because there's so many playoff games, I would basically have to do the whole day. And I will try my best. If I can't stream them, you will definitely get a recap game. If I'm not able to stream the playoff game, you will get the recap game. Just know this. I'm going to be here Sunday night to stream the Ravens and Bengals. I'll be there Monday night to stream the what's it called? The Cowboys and the Bucks. And I'll be able to stream Saturday night too. But I don't know if I'm streaming every single wild card matchup. We'll just have to see. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's pretty much it for the preview video. I didn't give my prediction, did I? Here's what I'm gonna do. As a Ravens fan, 100% I have faith and belief we can win. Objectively, I expect this game to be close no matter what the final score is. But I think it's possible Cincinnati can edge out. However, as a Ravens fan, I'm just going to stick with the Ravens. If this is the final game of the season, I'm going all Ravens. I'm picking the Ravens on the upset. No matter what happens, we'll live with the results. I'm picking the Ravens to pull off the upset just to end the season. Objectively, it should be Cincinnati, let's be honest. Objectively, it's Cincinnati. But as a Ravens fan, I'm not turning my back on my team on the final game, potentially, of the season. I'm picking Baltimore. We'll see what happens. And with that being said, in terms of live streaming, I will probably see you Saturday, maybe for the 4 o'clock game or Saturday night for that game. Either or, I will live stream then. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And with that being said, that is all I've got. And I'm out of here, man. Peace!